There is a project sitting inside of your organization right now. It has a name. It probably has had a kickoff meeting on somebody's calendar from 3 months ago. There might even be a slide deck about it, but nobody's truly running it. Nobody owns the outcome, and the people who are on the hook for it, they already have full-time jobs. That project, it's a ghost initiative, and it is absolutely quietly costing you. Hey, and welcome back to Microscope, the show where we zoom in on the real challenges that real businesses are facing, and we do not let them off the hook. I'm Julia Brown, the founder of Teloscope Advisors, and today we are going somewhere I don't hear enough people talking about with candor. We're talking about change management. We're talking about what actually happens when a company launches a major initiative, whether it's a new system, a process overhaul, a team restructure, a big strategic pivot, and the people responsible for executing the work are the same people already running the day-to-day. Spoiler, it doesn't go well often, and the data is absolutely staggering on this. So buckle up. This one is personal, this one is practical, and by the end of this episode, you're going to know exactly what to do differently. I want you to think about the last time your organization tried to make a big change. Maybe leadership got aligned on a new direction. Maybe you invested in a new platform or process redesign. Maybe there was a moment, a real electric moment, where the room was buzzing with possibility and everyone said, yes, this is the thing. This is what's going to move us forward. And then the energy faded. Progress stalled. People fell back into their old routines because, hello, they still had a pipeline to manage, a team to lead, reports to pull, and 100 emails to answer before noon. The initiative didn't fail because the idea was bad. It didn't fail because your people aren't capable. It failed because you asked someone to run a marathon while they were already sprinting 100 meters every single day. That is a ghost initiative trap, and it is one of the most expensive, under-acknowledged problems in business today. Let me give you some numbers that I want to sit with you for a moment. According to McKinsey, 70% of change initiatives fail to achieve their goals. 70%, primarily due to employee resistance and lack of management support. The most recent research from 2024 and 2025 shows that only shows that only 32% of change initiatives are clearly successful. That means for every 10 big projects your organization launches, roughly 7 of them won't deliver what they promised. 7 out of 10. Not delivering. And here's the part that really gets me. According to a 2025 study, 44% of workers have experienced multiple abandoned projects with no explanation, no closure, no debrief, just, we're not doing that anymore. And they were expected to absorb that, stay motivated, and show up for the next initiative. Is it any wonder that only 38% of employees today are willing to support organizational change? That number was 74% just a few years ago. We have burned through our people's trust and their bandwidth by asking them to carry change on top of everything else, without structure, without support, and without a dedicated leader at the helm. Prasi research found that 83% of employees experiencing change fatigue lack the necessary tools and resources to adapt. 83%! And yet organizations keep assigning a change champion role to people who are already maxed out, hoping enthusiasm alone will carry the project home. Here's the truth. And I think you probably already know it. Hope is not a project plan. So what's the alternative? Because I'm not just here to tell you what's broken, I'm here to tell you what does work. The answer is this. Someone has to own the work. Not own it in title, not own it in addition to 4 other things. Actually own it. Present, embedded, accountable. Driving the work with your team every single day. And here's the piece that I think gets missed most often. It's not just about having a project manager. It's about having the right kind of project manager. One who doesn't just build a Gantt chart and send weekly status emails, nagging people. One who actually sits with your individual contributors, the people doing the work, and gives them structure, clarity, support, and a clean path forward. Because here's what I've seen over and over again in the organizations that I work with at Teloscope Advisors. The people at the front lines, the ones who have to live inside the change every day, they're not the problem, or very rarely the problem. They're capable, they're willing. Most of the time, they want the initiative to succeed just as much as leadership does. It usually makes their lives better. What they don't have is someone walking alongside them, translating the big vision into their specific day-to-day reality, removing the friction that's blocking them, and making sure their work connects to something larger. That is the job. That is what changes the outcome. Research confirms that organizations investing in disciplined, people-centered change management see up to 5 times better project outcomes. 5 times. And those same organizations are showing 2.5 times higher revenue growth than their peers who treat change as a side project. The math is undeniable. The case is clear. The question is just, who's doing that work? This is the gap that Teloscope Advisors was built to fill. When I spent years inside some of the most complex mortgage and financial services organizations in the country, I watched the same tragedy play out from time to time, or again and again. Smart leaders with bold visions, talented teams with real capacity, and in between the vision and the execution, a void. No one dedicated to bridging that gap. No one whose only job was to make the initiative succeed. At Teloscope, we step into that void. We don't just advise from a distance, we get embedded. We work directly alongside your individual contributors, the people inside your organization who you trust have the institutional knowledge and the ability to do the work well, and we give them what they need: structure, accountability, clear milestones, a communication framework, and someone who shows up consistently and says, let's look at where we are today, what's blocking you, and how we move forward, because this initiative still matters, is still relevant, and a big opportunity for the company. We bring neutrality that insiders often can't bring. We have this hard conversations, escalate real issues, and make unpopular calls that someone embedded in the politics of the organization might avoid. And when the project is done, when the initiative has crossed the finish line, we hand off a stronger, more capable team than the one we found, because our job isn't to create dependency. Our job is to build momentum that lasts. So whether you're rolling out a new operational system, restructuring a team, onboarding a new process across a distributed organization, or executing a strategic pivot that requires your people to actually change the way they work, Teloscope is built for that engagement. One of my clients described it this way. Something was off and no one could stand back far enough to see the whole story or dive deep enough to drive it forward. That's what changed when we brought in Julia. And that's what we do. We see it clearly, we drive it hard, and we don't leave until it's done. All right, here are your 3 action items for this week. These are specific, they are actionable, and if you do all 3, I promise you will walk away with more clarity on your biggest initiatives than you've had in months. Number 1 is easy. Find the ghost. I want you to make a list of every major initiative your organization is currently running or has been in progress on for the last 6 months. Next to each project, write the name of the single person who is most responsible for its success. Now here's the test. Is that person's primary job to drive that initiative, or is it something they're doing on top of everything else? If it's the latter, you found your ghost. That initiative is at serious risk, and naming that risk is the first step to fixing it. Step 2, count the hats. Pick your most critical initiative, the one with the most riding on it, and write down every role the person leading it is currently playing. Their operational responsibilities, their team management duties, their reporting requirements, everything. Then ask yourself honestly, if I needed this initiative to hit every milestone on time at full quality, is this person structurally set up to deliver that? Not capable of it, structurally set up to deliver it. There is a difference, and that difference is where initiatives go to die. Number 3, define the finish line in 1 sentence. For your highest priority initiative right now, try to write in 1 clear sentence what success looks like and when it will be achieved. Not a paragraph, not a list of goals, 1 sentence. If you can't do it, that is your signal. The initiative doesn't have enough clarity at the leadership level to succeed at the execution level. Get into a room, get aligned, and write that sentence before you ask one more person to work on it. And if any of this hits a little too close to home, if you're sitting there thinking, we have multiple ghost initiatives and we don't have a clear finish line on any of them, that's exactly when you reach out to us. Go to teloscope.co, that's teloscope.co. Tell us what you're working on, and let's talk about what that embedded project leadership could look like for you and for your team. Here's what I want you to take away from today. Your people are not the problem. Your vision is not the problem. The missing piece, the thing between where you are and where you're trying to go, is structure. Someone who owns the bridge, someone whose entire job is to make sure the distance between strategy and execution closes every single day. The organizations that win aren't the ones with the best ideas. They're the ones that can execute consistently, deliberately, with someone at the helm who refuses to let the momentum die. And here's what I know about you. You're listening to this podcast because you're the kind of leader that gets it. The kind who doesn't accept that's just how change works. The kind who's willing to look at what actually is happening and make a different call. So make the call. I'm Julia Brown. This is Microscope by Teloscope Advisors, and we put the work under the lens and figure out exactly what needs to happen next. Until then, go find your ghost. Woo!